Let's make Thịt Kho Musubi, Hawaii meets Vietnam.
It's so good.
Hawaiian spam musubi is well known and well loved for good reason. It is easy, delicious, and filling. I was making Vietnamese thịt kho braised pork when I had a light bulb moment. What if we combine these two amazing dishes? And that's how Thịt Kho Musubi was born. First, we'll cook our rice.
For this recipe, we are using medium grain Calrose rice, which, while not a true Japanese rice, has been grown by Japanese American producers in California for many years and is commonly used in Japanese food in North America, but you can definitely use sushi rice as well. Rinse your rice well, add water, then cook according to package instructions.
Next, let's cut up our pork belly.
We want to cut our pork belly into pieces measuring about 10 centimeters long and 1.5 to 2 centimeters thick. We're cutting them a little bigger than what we want the final product to be, since these pieces will end up shrinking a little bit as they are braised. However many musubis you want to make, that's the number of pork belly pieces you will need. We are making 4 in this recipe video.
Now let's prep the braising sauce. First, we'll mince some shallot and garlic.
Add the minced shallot and garlic to a small bowl. We will use that to mix the braising sauce. In the same bowl, add 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, half teaspoon of bouillon powder, a quarter teaspoon of ground black pepper, a tablespoon of nước hang, and 60 milliliters of warm water. Stir well to combine. If you don't want to make or buy nước hang, you can omit it here and add sugar at a later step.
Now we braise the pork belly.
Heat a pan on medium and add a tablespoon of vegetable oil. It's best to use a pan that is just large enough to fit your pork belly pieces in a single layer without much extra space. If you didn't add nước hang to the braising mixture in the previous step, add a teaspoon of white sugar to the heated vegetable oil here. Let the sugar melt and turn golden before adding the pork belly. Add the pork belly pieces in a single layer and fry for 1 minute on each side. Pour in the braising sauce and reduce heat to medium-low. Braise the pork belly uncovered for 10 minutes, flipping the pieces a few times throughout. You will see the meat gradually take on the beautiful color of the braising sauce. After 10 minutes, reduce heat to low and cook for another 10 minutes. Continue flipping the pieces throughout. Keep an eye on the sauce as water evaporates. If it starts to get too thick, reduce heat to the lowest level and add a few teaspoons of water to prevent burning. After the second 10 minutes, turn off the heat and cover the pan to keep the meat warm while you assemble the musubis.
Now we assemble our musubi. If you have a musubi mold, definitely use that. We don't, so we're using a food container and some parchment paper to shape the rice.
Here we are using a rectangular food container that is 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters, which is the perfect size to cut into 4 blocks of rice. First, we line the container with parchment paper to prevent sticking, then add in the rice, pressing down tightly with a rice paddle to create an even layer about 3 to 4 centimeters thick. To make sure that the rice is tightly packed and won't fall apart, we are folding in the sides of the parchment paper over the rice and placing another food container on top, then pressing down firmly. Remove the parchment paper package of rice from the container and cut into pieces measuring approximately 7 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Next, cut your nori sheets into strips about 5 centimeters wide. Place a block of rice at the bottom of a piece of nori perpendicularly so that it is centered down the middle. Sprinkle some furikake on the rice. Place a piece of pork belly on top. Now tightly roll the bottom of the nori, the rice, and the pork belly up towards the top of the nori strip. And there you have it, Thịt Kho Musubi. It's hard to go wrong when you combine two concepts that have survived the test of time. If you've tried thịt kho before, I bet you can already taste this in your mind. The pork belly is incredibly juicy and flavorful, fragrant, umami, sweet. The soft and sticky rice soaks up all of those flavors perfectly. The furikake adds just that little extra boost of flavor with the fragrant sesame seeds, and the nori ties everything together into one cohesive package. Trust me, if you try this, you'll want to subscribe to our channel for more recipes just like this one.